All right, hello class. I am recording this video. Um, it is Tuesday, February 20th, and I just got final words or final confirmation from our first guest speaker, Caroline Smith, who has agreed to join with us next Wednesday, February 28th. And we're going to have a slight change to the original plan. I know I had previously announced that we would be meeting at 8 o'clock. However, due to some time constraints, Caroline has asked if we could move our meeting time up to 7:30 on that day, so just a half an hour earlier. And that's fine by me. So we're going to go ahead and schedule this. Caroline Smith is February 28th at 7:30. Now, class, just a little bit about what you can expect that night, and let me just speak a little bit to it. First off, Caroline Smith is an economist. She completed her undergraduate work at GW and has master's degrees in economics and some other fancy thing that I cannot recall. But she works for the United States government for an organization that works with internationally with other governments. And so one of her major job requirements is to travel to various countries, more or less as a representative of the State Department, and provide financial benefits or do cost analysis and help these different countries, I guess, more or less improve economically. Now, I probably did a really poor job of describing what it is she does, and we'll have her go ahead and announce that for us when we see her next week. But I have known Caroline for many years now, and each time I get together with her, she shares these wonderful stories about the work that she does overseas. Now, some of her work has changed with the changing of the guard from President Obama to President Trump, and clearly President Trump's perspective on foreign policy is very different than that of President Obama's, and so she has seen some real world differences in the type of work that she does. Nonetheless, as next week we'll be discussing income inequality within countries and the potential for that to be the source of global conflict in the future, I thought it would be smart to have somebody with that type of background come and speak to us about it. So what I ask of you, now, first off, let me be very clear that you are not expected to be in attendance next Wednesday, February 28th at 7:30. This is an online class, and one of the reasons why many of you selected an online class is because of the flexibility and the freedom that it provides. Now, I cannot and I will not require all of you to be there at that time. However, I will require that all of you view the video. I would love for as many of you to be there as possible, because there will be question and answers, and bringing in a guest speaker, it's always nice to have people in the audience responding, asking questions, and just being involved and not speaking to a computer screen. But if you're unable to make it, if you're working, if you have other engagements, if you're it's just a really bad time, I understand. You don't need to apologize. You don't need to send me excuses. You just don't be there. That's fine. Our video will be recorded, and the following day on Thursday, I will go ahead and publish that link so that each of you can then view it on your own time. That week there will be a writing assignment. That writing assignment will come from the content of that video. So it will help you, viewing that video in its entirety will help you construct it. In addition, next week I'm asking for you to read, in addition to some articles, our first book, The Mouse Who Roared, or The Mouse That Roared. It's a fictional book. It's a satire. I read the whole book a week or two ago in just over a couple, it was like maybe 3 or 4 hours. It's not a big book. It's 130 pages, maybe a little more than that, depending on the edition you have. At a minimum, I ask that you read the first 10 chapters. In those first 10 chapters, more or less the plot of the book is explained. If that's all you have the time for, so be it. You can get by having read the first 10 chapters. However, I think it's important to be familiar with the way that the book ends and the arguments that the author is making, more or less satirically, about the place of the United States in the world through this book. And I've invited Caroline to speak a little bit about it when she meets with us next week. So being able to be familiar with that book and its premise and some of the context will be helpful for our conversation. All right, so what you can expect, there will be an email, a link that I will provide to each of you, and that link, you will follow that link on Wednesday in order to be present for our video. It will be through Blackboard. So I encourage you to, if at all possible, to make arrangements now so that you can be available at 7:30 on February 28th, but if you can't, so be it. All right, that's enough for me. I hope this announcement finds you all well. I am busy grading your conflict reports and hope to have them done by the end of the week.